Hi, I'm Gia from Hopman, and today I'm going to tell you about a problem that is very common across all markets, and that's the need to bring regional data together into a centralized view. This is exactly what an international healthcare group was facing, and they approached us about this challenge. They were collecting data at regional level, but each different region had its own website, and their websites were using different web analytics tools. The solution that we offered at first sight is very simple. What we could do is bring all of this data together into a centralized dashboard. However, there is a lot behind it, so let's take a look at the main goals that we defined. The first one is that we needed to unify the KPIs and the metrics and make them standard across markets, because otherwise they would not be comparable. In terms of data engineering, all of the different data sources from the different web analytics tools had to be brought together into one data stack. And also this rose the question from the company whether we could actually help them also implement a uniform web analytics tool. And finally, now that they would have all of this data available to them, we really wanted to establish this data-driven mindset. Because we are talking about a very large project here, what we did was divide it in different sub-projects. The first one was in terms of data analytics, the second one concerned data engineering and visualization, and finally, we also implemented some training. About the data analytics side, basically the main goal of our analyst was to standardize all of these different metrics and KPIs to make them comparable globally. They also worked in clustering websites because at the moment the company was working with up to 300 different websites and platforms. And finally, to make these websites comparable, they also developed a website score. In terms of data engineering, what had to be done was take all of the different tools for website tracking and bring them together into the marketing data stack. And of course, this also entails data protection and ensuring data quality. And the ingestion of the data was automated. Finally, once the data stack was ready, this was connected to Power BI. This is where the data visualization specialists come in and start building the global dashboard. Once all of the data was available and the dashboard was available, of course, we wanted to pass on this knowledge into the company so that they could start using these new tools. The first thing that we wanted to do was allow them and enable them to work now in a data-driven way and make the decisions based on the insights. So we did some workshops on data-driven thinking. We also wanted to enable them to use the new tools, which were Power BI for visualization and Adobe Analytics for the website tracking. And in both cases, we worked hand in hand with them when we were implementing these tools, and we also deployed some trainings so that they could learn how to use them. In every big project, there are always certain challenges associated to it. I want to tell you a bit how we solved them. The first one was this unclear data strategy that was also not uniform globally, and how we faced this was establishing these new metrics, also implementing the new tools, working towards this mindset shift, and of course, building the global view in the dashboard. There was also a certain gap in terms of data competence that we were positive that we could help the company bridge. And basically we faced that by developing some training and also some initial enablement in the use of the tools. And finally, such a project always comes with very high time pressure and complexity. We face this simply by working in an agile way. Overall, we can say that once the project was completed, we had delivered this global view to the company. Now they finally had access to the data. They could make data-driven decisions. They could also learn more about their website traffic. And finally, we had also increased the data quality by doing all of this standardization and building the data stack. And we also noticed a change in their ways of working that were now more data-driven. So right now, in a very few minutes, I summarized a very complex case study for you. Of course, there is much more detail to it. We are going to leave the case study linked down below in the description of the video, so I would really encourage you to take a look at it if you're interested in it. And of course, if you have any questions, if you want to learn more, or maybe if you're facing a similar challenge, do not hesitate to reach out to us because we would be very happy to talk to you. Thank you.